Hello everyone and welcome to this special TEPPEN news update. My name is Nintendo. It is 11:12 p.m. Australia time right now. I just got finished done playing Spider-Man Miles Morales on stream. Had a lot of fun with it. Amazing. Great. Now, I just got told by Ace Agod about some TEPPEN news and we've got it right here on the screen. We're back here in the studio. So, planned update for 2021. Formats to be added. So you're probably wondering what the hell's going on. So, thank you for your continued enjoyment of TEPPEN. We would like to announce here that in 2021 we will be adding additional formats to the game. Additional formats expected to be added. Currently, right now, November 13th, 2020, 13th November 2020, standard. All card sets are usable. So, and then after this, they say after the new format is added, standard, core, basic cards, and a number of cards sets from Day and Nightmares onwards will be usable. Whenever the latest card set is released, the older card sets may be rotated out. However, core and basic cards will always be usable in standard format. Unlimited, all card sets are usable. Details on when the new formats will be added, which card sets will be usable in standard, and how to play Unlimited will be announced at a later date. We hope you continue to enjoy playing TEPPEN. So we finally have some information on rotation in card sets. It's about time too, actually, that we finally, hear something about a rotation, because some of these card sets probably do need to be rotated out to keep the game fresh, to keep things in motion. But judging from what they're saying right now, so core and the basic cards will never disappear. So core will always be there. That's just something we have to always just accept that, which makes sense because they've been doing a lot of reprints of some core cards, which adds to it, so I don't see why they would have. I mean, it would have been interesting if they did rotate core out, but they're not going to ever. So that's fine. But what we can take is this, that Day and Nightmare cards are going to be rotated out. What's being rotated out, we have no idea. But as it stands right now, from this, we're getting some pretty good stuff right now. So this is a nice step forward. Rotating out a bunch of Day and Nightmare cards onwards. So I guess while we're here, we can technically go over some of the cards. Hang on, let's just jump into cards, standard. So seeing as how we know Core's staying, but it's Day and Nightmares that's going to be adjusted here. So some of the cards in here are going to stay. Some of them will not. The question is, we really honestly don't know. But if I had to take some kind of educated guess, I think my mate Ace God said that maybe some of the Jill cards might be taken out, which honestly would destroy Jill, because a lot of cards that Jill relies on are basically in Day and Nightmares. They've added some new stuff, which is great and all, but like a lot of her core cards are in Day and Nightmares. So honestly, I would not be at all, what's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't care if, let's just say, a bunch of these specific cards got rotated out. Calling out you, Living Death. I'm calling out you, Living Death. I wouldn't care at all if you got rotated out. Rebirth, if that does get rotated out, Ouroboros is kind of useless now. What is it? Hatred Reborn could get rotated out. There's a bunch of few Black Destructions here that could. Units, honestly, Nemesis could rotate it. I couldn't care less about Nemesis. Nemesis is just useless. If Tyrant gets rotated out, that's a massive change to a lot of black decks, because it's kind of a core card for a lot of black decks, depending what it is. But right now, with the meta, most of the decks right now, this is kind of a core card. And if it gets rotated out, oof. Well, goodbye to that stuff. G-Adult would be pretty interesting if it got rotated out. Not so much on those units. I don't think we care too much on what's here on units-wise for black to get rotated out. I mean, maybe the destruction, the cards that get destruction, but I guess it depends. Vile, but we'll see. But we don't know precisely what's being rotated out. We can only just make an educated guess. And I can definitely make an educated guess on one specific card that should be rotated out. If we were in purple color now, oof, you know, I think Monstrous Virus has had its time. I think it can go. The 4s setup, probably, I don't think anyone would care to see them go. Like, they just no longer as good as they used to be. If this gets rotated out, yeah, I think it should be okay for purple, because purple's kind of leaning towards growth now, so I think it's not too much of a big deal. This can definitely go. No one ever uses this card. You got to look at some of the cards that just barely get used. I think that's still technically being used. That's about it. If Tigrex goes, oof. If Tigrex gets rotated out, that's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt. Jury is a possibility as well. Again, like the 4 kind lineup is just, it's not the same anymore, so it doesn't really matter. Ada Wong. No, stealth is only 1 time now, isn't it? Yeah, not much. Out of Day Nightmares, I don't see much of like what should really stay to go, but there are a couple things. They could rotate out A-Trans to get rid of the copying ability. They did recently just nerf Unbreakable Bond, so I don't know if it's worth to rotate out. It still could be. Kushala is an option there. The Robe General that never really gets played, but occasionally might get played. DA. If DA gets thrown out of the mix, like the whole Red-Green Explorer probably won't work anymore now. If some of the core cards that kind of help the deck go. There's a bunch of units in here that barely get used. But I would definitely say that that's a big change to green. Starting, because obviously all these changes won't happen until next year. But yeah, starting next year, if this gets rotated out, that's a chunk out of green's mana right there that they lose. Shona's probably the only other one I can see that was mainly played the most. Majority of the units in here aren't, so we'll have to worry about as much. But there's a few key units in there. Auto heal, maybe. Besieged, I guess. There's some interesting cards if they do get rotated out. Red side, yo, I mean, State of Nothingness goes away. I don't think it'd be that much of a big deal. I mean, it shouldn't be, because Red has a lot of 2-cost actions that are cheap and really powerful. But this would be a really big loss for Jill. If they rotate it out, if this card is out, Bushini Awakening, that would hurt Jill a lot. What else is in here? Unleashed, not so much really. There is Lightning Bolts. I don't think I could see there's much of value out of that one. Vengeance, not really ever played. Jill did see some return play, but here and there. Teostra is not much, but Nash is a big one. If Nash gets rotated out, that's a big loss to Jill's units. So there's Carlos. Carlos is another big unit for Jill. Guile is... there's better replacements for Guile. Dimitri's another one, but I don't think Dimitri's a big deal. Claire as well. Gain 1 MP for exploring. Like, if anything, this is really hurting Jill. Jill Explore the most. Yeah, Antibody Jill the most right now is gonna get hurt, I would say. And Zeku. Yes, Jill gets the most hurt out of this with this update. So yeah, core staying, but yeah, we're potentially gonna be losing. We're not all of Day Nightmares is getting rotated out. That's the thing. Just gotta note that. Not all of it is getting rotated out. Only some of the cards. But still, I mean, honestly, I think they should just rotate the whole thing out. But they're gonna keep some cards in. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Can keep you guys updated with some news when that stuff comes out. But until then, I appreciate everyone watching. Thanks again. Enjoy your day, guys. This is your TEPPEN news update for today. And yeah, big news, really big news. It's nice to see that they're finally doing the whole rotating out series card sets, because they really need to. But yeah, we'll look forward to hearing more information. Yeah, take care, everybody, and have a good day and all that stuff. Bye-bye.